Hey, welcome to tonight's edition of the Evening Review. My name is Taiwan Jabela, your host. Let's quickly look at today's front page of Namibian Sun. Welcome back. Today, the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs, Daniel Kashikola, spoke about the issue of alcohol. There's so much confusion. Some people are saying, are we allowed to sell? Okay, selling, of course, is not allowed, but possession. If I have a bottle of wine in my house, am I in trouble or not? This is what he had to say to our colleague, Jemima Buges.
Kashikola, can you please tell us, are people still allowed to brew their own alcohol like Tombo and Karibi at home?
As I said during the lockdown, all alcohol is banned. Whether it's Tombo, whatever type of alcohol, is not allowed. And those who are brewing Tombo or their homes or are selling under behind closed doors, they are actually violating the law. And if they are caught, they will be answerable for their violation.
Honorable, there's also the question around the possession of alcohol in your vehicle.
That's why I brought him.
Am I allowed, like you said earlier, as long as I don't buy it, the prohibition is on the sale of it. Am I allowed to have the alcohol in my car and at my house?
What we are saying is, if we find the law enforcement will find you with alcohol during the lockdown, when the sale of alcohol is banned. For now, we'll definitely deal with you in terms of the rules that are governing the state of emergency and the lockdown. Alcohol is banned, and as I said, we'll recommend that even the possession of alcohol, not only the sale, the possession of alcohol for now is not accepted.
Also, our colleague Elizabeth Joseph was at the roadblock north of Okahanja, where long queues of vehicles and trucks were seen as people coming and leaving the Commerce region. Let's have a look at that.
Right now we are at the Okahanya roadblock and people are still queuing up, still trying to make it to screening in time. The officials have let us know that they take 10 cars per time, and as soon as you stop on the stop sign, you are screened just like this, and then you may proceed. You have to fill out a certain form.
So today in the studio I have a singular honor of being joined by the former Swapo Secretary General Dr Ngarikutuke Tjiriange, who also worked as the country's first Justice Minister and also the first Minister of Veteran Affairs. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yes. You left government in 2009, roundabout there. What have you been up to since then?
Well, always, everything has got a start and an end. I have been in the government from the very beginning, and I think I had enough of it. And then from there, I left the government. So after I fulfilled whatever was expected of me, and mind you, when we came here, there was no government.
Yes.
We were the ones who put up this government. The government which was here is the one which was exploiting us, which colonized us. Our own government was put by us. So then I worked in it until that time that you are talking about. So, and from there, I left. I actually served the first minister, the first president, the second president. So, and by that time, the present president was the prime minister.
Yes.
All of us worked together. So, and we continue to be associating with each other. So, and when I left, I had already got my farm, and I was now cruising between the farm and back to Windhoek, doing whatever I think is very important for me.
Sure. Indeed. In 2012, you came back as a special advisor to the Minister of Home Affairs. And, there's always this thing that, the special advisor positions were just created as a scheme for jobs for comrades. Do you think it was important? How important was that position to have? As a matter of fact, the current president, he is in the process of phasing out these positions. Was it a job for comrade?
I disagree with the fact that it's a job for comrades.
Yeah.
Special advisors are actually chosen because of certain things that they can advise.
Yeah.
You just don't go out in the street there and grab every comrade to come and be a special advisor. So the people who assign them have got the reason why the certain people must need to be advised.
Yes.
And then they see who is capable of doing that advice.
Yeah.
And the fact remains that the position of a ministry is a very complicated position. And if somebody who has got a long history of doing things, who know things, is brought to advise the one who is in the position now, that is not to make a job for comrades. It is to help the system to go forward.
So it was not a question of Dr. Tjiriange has perhaps finished his pension and therefore we must help him again with a bit of income.
No, it's because of my history that I have.
Yeah.
so that I will be able to advise the person on very important issues. Not only the issues of the government. Mind you, there are political issues that need to be advised also.
Yes.
As you see me here, you have just called me Ngarikutuke Tjiriange, which means, by all implications, I'm a Herero. But when I started my politics, I started in Opo, which was Ovambo People's Organization, although I was not in Ovambo.
Yeah.
So then I came to Swapo, which we created, in which I am until today. So from there, we went through actually during Swapo, we went through all sort of problems. And the person that I was advising came somewhere there in 70s. She found me there. So I knew so many things that she didn't know.
I understand.
So, and she was dealing with people. And I've been dealing with people all these years. So therefore, it was necessary to have somebody who knows people and who can calm down the situation.
Indeed.
So, and the president thought that I was the right person to come and help her to do whatever she wants to do.
Indeed.
So it's not because I was a comrade, because I was not really looking for a job or something like that, but because of what I know, I was able to advise her on things that are very essential to the people of this country.
Indeed. What kind of advice were you giving the minister on the issue of Herero people in Botswana who actually want to come back? Not everybody they want to come back, but there's a great number of them that want to come back here. What kind of advice were you giving in that regard?
Yeah, the Herero people who are in Botswana, they didn't go there because they went to hunt or maybe they wanted to go there. They went there because of genocide.
Yes.
They were subjected to elimination. So they went there and they couldn't come back before those who wanted to exterminate them, who were actually followed by another regime which was also colonizing us, to come back. But when these regimes are no more there, they started thinking that we shall now go back to our country because we are just here waiting for what has now happened. So, and there are many. So therefore, we have to find a way to bring them back. A way which is not going to be difficult for the government in which they are now, which definitely give them a good reception, and our own government which has just come in, so as to solve all these problems while we are saying thank you very much that you had our people here. Here also when they come here we shall know how to handle them.
Indeed.
So, and how they feel, what they do in order to make them not to think that they are just coming here to get everything free of charge.
Sure.
There must be somebody who can talk to them that don't think that you are just going there and you are going to live into honey.
Yes.
So they have to talk to people.
Indeed.
So, and in order for me to advise the lady who was a minister, I know these people very well who were coming. This minister came from the north, and she never, she escaped from there, actually from the north, to when we met abroad. She never knew these people the way I know them.
Indeed.
So, and psychologically and otherwise, I know them.
Indeed.
So it was good for me to advise how to handle this kind of people. And that it was not the only thing that I advised her.
Yes.
When we came back here, she was working under me. And when I left, she took this position. And we know each other very well. And the president thought that what I know, I can still help her.
Indeed.
To succeed in whatever she wants.
Indeed. Now, you spoke earlier about genocide. What are your views on that chapter, especially in terms of what needs to be done now going forward? There are talks of reparations. There are huge debates about how any reparation must be used. Must it be used for national development? Must it be channeled towards the affected communities? What is the best way in your view?
Yeah, there are so many there are so many ideas about this genocide reparations that will be paid. But one has to understand that colonialism of this country has affected everybody, no matter what. But the genocide is different from other things because there were specific group of people who were supposed to be eliminated. And these people are known. They are Namas and Hereros. So, and they were reduced almost to nothing. And when the money or whatever comes that way, that thing has to be taken into consideration. So these people suffered twice, from the genocide and also together with others from colonial situation. And when the money for genocide is being given or whatever is given, those people have to be given the first opportunity to see what they can do. You can never take somebody to a hospital who is not sick. You cannot do something for somebody who doesn't deserve it. So the country deserves all these things, but there are certain things that are specifically for certain people who have been subjected to that, and this is genocide.
Indeed.
So, and therefore, when the genocide is, those reparations are paid, the first people to be considered must be the ones that have been the victims of genocide. That does not mean that other things should not be done that will also be benefiting others.
Apart from the benefits, Doctor, what is your view on the manner in which government is handling this matter at the moment?
I think the government is really doing its best in trying to make sure that those who have committed the genocide must come down and realize that they have done something wrong. There is a situation that one can say maybe is tribalistic, or not tribalistic, but maybe because of the black color of the people. There were other genocides which Jews were killed. And maybe because Jews were white, they thought that they had to be paid. Now these black people, they don't want to accept that the black people have to be treated like what they treated the Jews. So there is something of this nature.
Yeah.
Why to recognize the other genocide victims and pay them and forget about this genocide, because the people who suffer from that genocide are not whites like themselves. So there is something there that those who committed the genocide, and this genocide was created by the same people.
Yes.
So why do they think that these people don't deserve what they give to the Jews?
Indeed. Let's talk about your time in government and Swapo leadership position. So in 2002, President Uyoma nominated you for the position of Secretary General, which you eventually got elected into. That is a vote of confidence when your superior, when your principal nominates you and you get elected. But again, you were minister without portfolio. I don't know what minister without portfolio means. Is it a vote of no confidence? In fact, you served twice as minister without portfolio under both President Uyoma and President Bahamba. What was it like to be minister without portfolio? What did you do? What were you paid for?
Yeah, there was no something like just trying to create positions that are irrelevant. I was a minister, then from there, when I became a Secretary General, I was between the two. I was running the organization as a Secretary General. Yet, the government also wanted me to contribute in my own way to what the government want to achieve. So, and don't forget that the government of the day was the government of Swapo. Not because it's only for Swapo, but it was created by Swapo. So I was working for the party as a Secretary General, but at the same time, I was being also taken to the government to advise whenever it is possible. Hence the need for me to be made a minister without portfolio, because I was also contributing to the government. Not because I'm a comrade, just because I was also doing something for the government.
So you receive a full salary, a full ministerial salary, just for doing what seems to be a very secondary role of a minister?
Well, it's a name that without portfolio. What does it mean? You are a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
It's not because the work is not there. It's that now, when you are a minister, you are dealing with your what your ministry does. When you are a minister without portfolio, now you become a jack of all trades. Today you are there, tomorrow you are there, and so on. That does not mean the work is less. Okay. For example, a minister of portfolio, you may even start advising a minister of defense when you are not even a ministry of defense. And you go to the next ministry and so on and so forth, because you are actually a jack of all trades.
I understand. So you then became a Minister of Veteran Affairs. You set up that ministry, if I'm not mistaken, and that was after a lot of pressure was put on government by the former soldiers. You proposed a lot of things that were accepted, benefits and everything. So today, war veterans get a variety of grants, also lump sums. And there's a sense that too much money is going to war veterans as if they were the only citizens. Do you agree that
They are only what?
they are the only citizens of the country? I mean, what about the rest of us who are not war veterans? So is it a well-deserved benefits?
Yes, it is. All of us suffered. There's no doubt about it. Everybody who was in this country suffered. But don't forget the point. Don't forget the history. That those people who are veterans, they were all the time in the bush. They never worked for anybody else. The only thing that they contributed to this country is a struggle with the guns. And they stayed for a long time fighting for the independence of this country. And when we were fighting, we never got any salary. Therefore, we did not have even pension. We were not getting anything. The only thing that we are getting is to eat when the food is there. Sometimes there was also no food. Sometimes you go hungry for the whole week. And we didn't worry. We know that one day the food will come. So those people went through a difficult times. And when we came here, they had nothing. They don't have nowhere to go. They don't have houses. They were not being paid. People who were staying here, they suffered a lot. But they had at least some places to stay. These people didn't have anything. They were just coming from the bush. So we have to help them to get something.
Indeed. And the Kufut members who say they deserve also the same benefits, what do you say to them?
The Kufut members, let me put it this way. Not everybody who was a Kufut member went there willingly. That we understand. Some of them were forced into that situation. Fine. But the fact is that they were in the army of the same people who were killing their own people. Whether they wanted it or not, they were there. And mind you, when we were fighting, these people, sometimes the Boers were getting into spares and protective cars. And these people were put in front to come and fight with us, face to face. And we were saying that, don't kill those people. When we see that they are there, we found a way to get out of the road and start dealing with the cars which are behind, because we know the Boers are behind there. So, but when we came here, these people were in that army, not free of charge, like when we were in PLAN, People Liberation Army of Namibia. So when they went out there, they were people, as much as what maybe they were getting less, they were getting something. We were getting nothing. So therefore, there was a necessity to make these people to get to the situation where the others were. So therefore, we have to give them that kind of treatment. So we could not treat those people who were, although they were in that untenable situation, but they were at least getting something. But there are those who were getting completely nothing. And when they came here, some did not even know where their parents are.
Indeed.
So, and we have to help them to adjust to the situation.
Indeed.
And it was our responsibility to do that. Indeed. Since the need, and let me tell you why. This Ministry of Veterans Affairs was not started here. There were countries that got independence before us. Mozambique was one of them. Because of the untenable situation in which these people were finding themselves, Comrade Pohamba says that if there are ministries there or departments that are dealing with these people, yeah, why can't we have the same thing here in Namibia, where we have got also freedom fighters who have nothing? So then I was sent there by Pohamba and say, go and see how do those people handle their former fighters. I went there and came and reported as to what those organizations are doing for their former fighters. It was on the basis of that some of them have got ministries, some of them have got departments. So, and President said that, okay, let's have a ministry. So it's something that we get from, because other people were treated there who fought, we fought together there. They were being treated. Here they were not. So we have to find a way to do the same thing.
Indeed. The last question, Doctor, is on ancestral land. In October 2018, you made a presentation at the land conference, at the second national land conference. I can't remember the details of your presentation, but what are your views on ancestral land? What is ancestral land in the first place, and how must it be handled?
Yeah, ancestral land is a very complicated issue. One has to go a little bit back. This country is one. All of us suffered. There is nobody who didn't suffer in this country. There is no tribe. I don't like the word tribe, because the tribe is a word that the white people use for the black people. But it is used. So everybody here in this country suffered. But as we were suffering, people were having areas in which they are staying. There were those who were staying in the north. There were those who were staying in the south. There was who were staying in the middle of the country. So now, when the colonizers came here, they took certain land of the people, while not every land of this country was taken and made and turned into farms. Now the land that has been turned into farms belong to a specific group of people. Let's make an example, for example, of the north in this area, which is in the middle here, Omaheke, Chodonjupa, and so on. Most of the farms are here. And this was not an empty land. Yeah. the land was taken from people who were staying here. The people in the north were subjected to contract labor to come and work here. But the Boers did not let them get away from the land that they were staying on. These people, instead of staying in the land where they were staying, they were put into places that are called reserves, that are very bad areas. Now, when we are talking about ancestral land, we are talking about the land from which these people were removed and taken to what we call reserves today. And the reserves are the areas that were not suitable for the whites. So now, when the people are saying we want to go back to the ancestral land, they are talking about the land from which they were removed. So this is what we are talking about. So you cannot come and say this is my ancestral land when you are not there. Yes. So there are people who are up to now still living on their ancestral land, like the ones in the north. So, but these ones who are here, they were taken and put into one basket called reserves. Yes. And today where the farms are was their ancestral land.
I understand. So we are running out of time, Doctor, but give me a sense of how you feel this matter must be addressed. If because the current President Hage Geingob, always expresses his fear around creating Bantustans again. So how do you redress or address the issue of ancestral land without slipping back into Bantustans?
I think the President is correct. Our law says that everybody has got the right to stay wherever he wants, which is good. Our Constitution is very good on that. But you cannot put somebody on somebody. You can only put somebody on the land which is not occupied by somebody. Now the people whom we found on their land, they are still on that land. You cannot put people on their land in which they are living. Yes. So therefore, when the people are claiming this thing of ancestral land, and when they want to say, they say that that land has been taken from us by foreign forces. Remove the foreign forces, and so that we can go back to our land. So now, a person who has got already a land on which he stayed, where his ancestors were living, and he wants now to leave that one or have that one and the other one, then he will have two, while this one doesn't have. This is where the problem is. These people don't say that just take because I happen to be here. He says that take because the graves of my fathers, my ancestors is on that land where you are. So that is why I'm calling it ancestral land. I want to go back from where you took me. But other people are still living on the area where they were being, even during colonialism, where they stayed until colonialists left. So this is where the problem is. It's not that anybody wants Bantustans or not. The graves that are there are known. Whose graves are there? And the person says that I want to go back there. And this is what we are calling about these things. And that does not mean somebody else who has got money and there is a land which is being sold somewhere has no right to come and do that. They do buy. And some of them, even who have not lost their ancestral land, they come here and buy the land. And from time to time they allow others whose friends are buried there to go and see the graves of those people. Whereas those South Africans which were on those lands, they were not even allowing these people to go and see those graves.
Indeed, Doctor. No, thank you very much for coming through and sharing your wisdom with us. We appreciate it. That was Dr. Ngarikutuke Tjiriange, former cabinet minister, former secretary general of Swapo, and a liberation struggle veteran, speaking to us about a lot of things. Thank you for watching. Good night.